So the acting starts well before the filming starts.
Yeah, well, you know, if it's not about platforming for performance, why are we making the movie? You know, it's a visual medium, you know, and the actors are the vessel that we have that takes that story to the audience.
Now everybody always likes to talk to actors who are directing themselves. They imagine a moment where the director's behind the camera and says, you know, let's go, and then jumps in front of the scene. And obviously it doesn't work that way. But as an actor, now directing yourself, do you have a new appreciation for what directors go through? Did you ever think to yourself, maybe even during the editing process, wow, I was such an asshole when I was on that movie 15 years ago as an actor, or I didn't understand what the director was saying?
Mainly it's come up, man, that they were such lazy bastards. It's like they did their job and my job at the same time, and we're still going to finish on time. And at 6:15 on a Friday, everyone's got a glass of wine in their hand. It's not that hard to do. So I don't know what all the complaining's been about, quite frankly.
That's not the answer I thought you were going to get. I thought you were going to say, oh, they're all fucking geniuses. I never knew how hard they were. Yeah, no, actually, now I understand. Now they can't get away with it anymore because you're like, no, I've been on the other side of it, pal.
No, so I've actually, you know, for so many years, I only ever worked with directors who were significantly older than me. And some little inaudible click happened in the background, and I found myself on set after set with directors who were significantly younger than me, you know? And, you know, on a sort of a constant basis, like painting themselves into a corner and then going, any idea how I get out of this corner? Yeah, maybe do this and this. Oh, thanks. I'll forget the rest of that. And so I suppose, in a way, that work, which has probably been about the last 4 or 5 years now, that gave me a certain level of confidence myself when I actually had to start sort of being on film sets, explaining to young fellas, you know, how you can shoot with 2 cameras on the same line and how you achieve that. You know, I worked with a guy called Ridley Scott 5 times. You know, Ridley will show you how athletic a camera can be. You know, when other directors say, you know, this is the end of what a camera can achieve, that's just the beginning for Ridley. You know, and I've sat out in the middle of, you know, muddy battlefields in the pouring rain with him, watch him painting 5 different monitors, you know, so he has 5 camera crews out there and, you know, calls them in between takes and has a specific set of instructions for each camera crew. And the next time you come back in from the take, the difference that has just happened, you know, it's immense, you know. But you work with somebody like Ridley and, you know, narrative's not necessarily his favorite thing, you know. If there's some shit to explode or a battle to be had, he's probably more comfortable doing that. You know, but then you work with someone like Peter Weir, whose sensibility brings everybody to a very gentle place. And, you know, you sort of on that film set, you're 40 miles off the coast of Mexico on a 3-mast ship, and he's got Mozart playing in between takes. You know, and you think, hey, it's not a bad gig. You know, when you got Mozart floating across the waves to you. You know, but then you work on a film set with somebody like Michael Mann, who will ritually fire somebody once a week. And, you know, I mean, I loved working with Michael. He was an amazing director for an actor to work with. But I did do a 24-hour workday with him once as well, you know. So you have all sorts of different experiences that you call back on. And for me, I know that on a film set, you know, if the actors are happy with what they're doing, you know, they infect the rest of the crew. If the actors are happy and they feel satisfied, they feel like they're being listened to, then, you know, the rest of the crew are excited by that.
Well, you mentioned a lot of directors you've worked with, and with different parts of the film, I mean, it's your voice, but like, for example, the romance we haven't talked too much about, and the scenes in the hotel, which are just, you know, I mean, that could be a whole movie right there, and there's almost a little bit of a Casablanca feel, you know, and those are shot in a different way, and you know, they're very sentimental but beautiful. Did you feel the influence of other directors when you're shooting that, or is it more of a subconscious thing?
No, I mean, look, creativity always has influence, man. You know, in rock and roll, they're very open about it. When somebody's got a new record coming out, it's the first question that gets put forward, you know, what were your influences on this album, you know? And it's funny because I've been talking about this quite a lot, and it's, creativity will come, you know, influence comes in ways that you can't necessarily assume. You know, you might be working on a computer program for the traffic lights of Paris, hit a you know, a place where you don't think you can go forward, you know, walk down to the Louvre, see a couple of magnificent statues, and suddenly you know what the solution is. You know, it's not linear influence in that way. And, you know, influence is always going to come through your filter. But the gateway to beauty is beauty, you know, and even if it's beauty in something stark and horrible, you know, I don't think that beauty can ever be really fully attained. It's like, that's the pursuit. That's what you're looking for. You know, we were talking before about, you know, the different looks of the movie, or, you know, and